drop bombs like Hiroshima.
Somebody said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh, shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, two, three, four.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. I hope you're having a fantastic Monday. I wanted to come through and talk to you guys about some things that are happening out there on the web, specifically in the UFO community. We are celebrating an anniversary, the Varginha incident. Okay. What is the Varginha incident? The Varginha incident it involves a series of events that occurred back in 1996 when residents of Varginha, Brazil claimed that they seen one or more strange creatures and at least one unidentified flying object. These creatures had a very horrible odor of ammonia/sulfur and presented itself to three very young girls who we're going to see something here in a minute. Now, this is according to media reports that the creature was sighted on the afternoon of January 20th, 1996 by three women ranging from age 14 to 22 years old. The women described the creature as a large-headed biped, meaning it walks on two legs, with spots like veins on the skin and some bumps on the head. The eyes were two red balls. The creature, later termed the ET of Varginha, was wobbly and unsteady, and the girls assumed it was either injured or sick. They said that they fled, told their mother that they had seen, quote, the devil. Now, rumors spread afterward through the area, with some people claiming to have observed UFOs in the days prior. Later, claims were made of additional unidentified creatures and extraterrestrials being collected and observed at a hospital. Military, police, government trucks, and personnel were active in the area, and an unidentified animal was prowling a local forest. There was also the death of a police officer who came in contact with this being, including unexplained animal deaths in a local zoo. Ufologists later alleged that there were links between these and other claims, including the claim that one of the initial creature witnesses was impregnated by the creature. Now, there was an official inquiry. It was led by the Brazilian military. It concluded in 2010 that the young women had encountered, this was their conclusion, had encountered a homeless, mentally unstable man, nicknamed Mudino. The commander of the 24th Police Battalion military presented photographs, and a citizen known as Mudino, who probably has some mental disability and whose physical characteristics supposedly match the description. But the girls are like, no, we know what we've seen. We know what we've seen. The Brazilian authorities also reported, okay, that the so-called aliens that were allegedly seen in the hospital were actually an expected couple who had dwarfism. All right. Shout out to all the dwarfs. All right. Just blatant lies, as if Brazil and Peru and other countries in South America aren't well known for their presence of UFOs. Okay. Come on. Now, a filmmaker was making claims back in 2022 that there was a video that existed of this captured creature from this incident that occurred in Brazil back in 96. This case has been dubbed Brazil's Roswell. Is the tape real? Well, who knows? We're going to take a look at it. I do have the tape. I managed to get my hands on it, and I am going to be presenting that to you all, and you will make a judgment as you see fit. That's how I look at those sorts of things. Governments tend to cover up everything and anything when they can't explain said things to their population. There was a documentary that dropped called Moment of Contact that went into details about this Varginha incident. Again, the locals reported seeing a very strange cigar-shaped object about the size of a school bus slowly fall from the sky and crash into a field. There was a man named Carlos de Souza who allegedly witnessed this crash and spoke to a researcher on camera back in 96. He even said on camera, quote, "It was floating and slowly losing altitude," end quote. "It looks like a washing machine struggling, fighting to keep its altitude. The side of it was completely torn and it had white smoke coming out. It wasn't black smoke like from a fire. At the time, I thought it was like an aircraft in trouble, an aeroplane, so I decided to follow it." 26 years later, Mr. De Souza and the filmmakers returned to the crash location, which is just up a hill from a small white farmhouse, where he broke down in tears. He said that when he arrived at the site on the very spot, he said he had observed a lot of debris, pieces of craft, and that when he got out of the car, he immediately smelled ammonia, like the smell of rotten eggs, a very strong smell, so strong that he had to cover his nose from the shirt that he was wearing, including saying that his eyes got watery. Again, there was a police officer who died after coming in contact from this being. This man, Mr. De Souza, took a piece of this craft. He said he saw a piece, and that it looked like it was aluminum. He took a sheet. He took a very small piece. He said it was very light. He crumpled it, but when he released it, it went back to its original shape. It's not the first time we've heard that, is it? Now, within minutes, Mr. De Souza said that military trucks arrived from the nearby ESA Army base, about 30 kilometers from Varginha, and ordered him to leave, threatening him with guns. Soon after, Varginha residents were stunned as a large military presence descended onto the town, cordoning off several blocks and preventing anyone from entering. A group of girls, ranging in age from 14 to 21, made headlines after claiming they stumbled across a strange creature in broad daylight at around 3:30 p.m. on January 20th, 1996. The being, which was huddled next to a wall by a clump of weeds in a vacant, grass-covered lot, was described as being about 4 feet tall with brown oily skin, V-shaped feet, a large head, and again, those huge red eyes. Kind of crazy to associate that to a homeless man named Mudino. But again, we know that the Brazilian government has a lot of ties to the United States, and there's even talk of a plane landing in Brazil. Landing in Brazil that possibly transferred this entity and took it maybe back to the States? Who's to say? Check this out, y'all.
In the afternoon. This was not the usual way that they would take to go back home.
E olhei, falei assim, só pra ela assim, gente, olha ali.
She saw a little creature that was really sweating. There was like a little person, but with no hair whatsoever, red eyes, and 3 horns. She pointed to the other girls and started running the other way.
If they all had the opportunity to speak to the world about their experience, what would they like the world to know?
Pra mim não foi boa, não. Eu, se fosse pra me passar por isso hoje, eu não passaria.
They said it wasn't a good experience at all. If they could choose, they wouldn't go through it again. And only people who have been through what they have been through can tell how they felt and how it all affected their lives.
How has it changed their lives?
Como isso afetou a vida de vocês?
Em tudo. No trabalho, na escola.
She said that it affected everything, like from friendships to work to school, people getting away from them, people thinking they were, crazy or something.
Alguém pode chegar, não, foi assim, pegamos e levamos para tal lugar.
She just says that she hopes that one day the whole thing will come clear and she will, her word will be taken seriously and they'll know that she was always telling the truth.
Well,
We definitely believe you. We believe you. So let's let that be known. Okay. Now I want to get on into this supposed tape that has dropped. Now, I'm hearing 50-50, I've heard a lot of different things, but I've also heard some things that, hey, there was some sort of tape shot and combined with, listen, I don't know. You make the determination of you will, but there is a new tape that you may be hearing about that's been popping up the last 2 days all over social media. Again, this is dubbed the Varginha incident, and allegedly this tape was recorded back in 1996. Again, isn't it strange that there were very weird creatures showing up around this town? Very strange. But I say, let's check out this tape and you all be the judge. Let's go. And there is no sound, just so you know. So you have to watch. Hey, Gloria. Thank you. I appreciate that. For those of you that are watching, make sure you follow my podcast platform on anchor.fm/LeakYou. I am on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and Google Podcasts. If you're on Facebook, you can support my work by sending me a digital star. All money is poured right back into the platform, and the LeakYou community does appreciate you. It's a very strange looking frog, isn't it? That is weird. But in a moment here, you are going to see this so-called being, okay? Hey, I'll take it. Let's just take a look together. Somebody's out filming. La-di-da-di-da. It kind of looks like a lizard, right? If you walked up on a being that was brown, oily, smelled like rotten eggs and sulfur, so bad that you had to cover your nose, that would really freak me out. All right, so he's pointing at something. Now, they have the ability to make video look like it was filmed in the 90s, all right? So, again, we have literally no confirmation at all on source of this. So we're just, dipping and dabbling, having a little fun tonight. It looks like somebody decided to do some filming and take a trip through the forest. I like trips like that. Yes, shout out to Mrs. Anderson for our new theme song, the new LeakYou theme song, The Riser. The intro is fire. Oh, there we go. There we go. Somebody take off running. Yeah, I seen it then. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. A lot of people think they're like a cross between some sort of, like the DNA is getting fiddled with, like a cross between, um, animal and human. Just really creepy, if you ask me. Really, really creepy. Mm. We can get a clear shot here. I would be freaking out if I ran up on something like that in the woods, I'm telling you. There seems to be, I mean, if from the tape, there seems to be something just laying there on the ground, and it looks, I would not want to touch it. And I've seen some very deep red eyes as well. Again, some referred to the thing looking like the devil, probably because of the red eyes. There's actually a photo. Ooh, hold on, let me pause. Oh, it's like a bean laying on its side. Very small. And see, when I see little techniques like this, when you see like cross hatches through the film, there's a variety of different techniques that people use to fake people out, and I'm totally getting those types of vibes with this. I am. It's interesting because every time you know, when the camera sort of zooms in on the so-called creature, all of a sudden there's some sort of an obstruction. You know, you see that, all the cross hatches. Yeah. I don't know, y'all. I don't know about this. I find that to be very annoying, though. Those little cross hatches weren't there before. So, yeah, I'm kind of calling bullocks on this one. BS. I'm getting some BS vibes on this one. All the different techniques. You didn't see those, same obstructions when whomever was walking through the woods. But who knows what that is? Maybe some government official did that in an effort to kind of hide some of it for some odd reason. Who knows? There is a photo, though, that's been floating around for a really long time that I'm going to show you all here of this being. In this photo, this being is behind like a net in a box. Almost looks. Now, I think this is the being that was actually dead or the being that lay. I don't remember if it was the being that was already on the scene dead or the being that, not sure. Not sure. I think this was the being that they were burying, but I'd have to confirm that. But it seems, but maybe not, because there's a net on it. And if it's dead, you wouldn't need to put a net on it, right? But there was a police officer that actually died after coming in contact with this being. It was some sort of, I think it was classified as an infection, but it was like 2 or 3 days after he came in contact with this thing. This small, oily, brown, stinky thing. Now, Brazil's been in the news the last week or so, and not only is it like it's been the anniversary of the Varginha incident, but there's a viral piece of video that is floating out there of what is purported to be 10-foot aliens standing on a very tall hill/mountain. It made many news agencies' social media feeds. And, I don't think it's necessarily really even the height of the beings, because it's hard for us to tell from a video, right? Because we're not standing there looking at it with our own 2 eyes, so we can judge like distance and depth and all that. But this this being starts moving its arms, and its arms are absolutely not human. They look long and they curl up in very odd ways. And so, yeah, Brazil has been in the news. Let me see if I can actually find that really quick. Yeah. It's crazy. Hold on a sec. I'll show y'all what I'm talking about. One momento. Check this out, man. Look at this thing, man. Watch its arms, though. Look at that. There's nothing human about that. And it's like it's looking at something, like the people down below the hill. And there's two of them there, maybe three, something in the middle there. We know these beings like to cloak themselves. Made every newspaper in the world.
Videos recorded by U.S. Navy.
Every newspaper in the world is crazy. So I don't know. Is it possible that countries that deal with or deal more with the occult, is it possible that there are more sightings in places like that? Maybe. I've heard that theory. All right. So let me see. There was actually a one more clip I wanted to take a look at. There was a Zoom that happened, but you're going to have to put your Spanish language hat on. If you don't speak Spanish, then you'll have to look at the subtitles. So, welcome to Brazil. I love looking at, if you open up your mind and look at stuff all over the world, even if you can't understand the language, you can understand a lot of things.
Simplesmente inacreditável. Eu não conseguia acreditar no que os meus olhos estavam a ver. Eles trouxeram uma criatura nos extraterrestres numa maca. É estranho, é simplesmente inacreditável, a sério. Eu fazia parte da equipa que foi enviada para guardar o laboratório onde os cientistas estudavam a criatura. Não sei se dizer se estava vivo ou morto, era muito estranho. O nosso comandante estava com medo que apanhássemos alguma doença daquela coisa. O cheiro era horrível, péssimo mesmo, como se tivessem urinado. A criatura tinha mais ou menos 1 metro de altura, a pele era castanha, oleosa e brilhante.
Oily brown, leathery skin with red eyes.
Tinha uma garra
weird claw-like hands.
Quer dizer, de maneira nenhuma aquilo podia ser humano, era
Definitely not human.
Estive apenas envolvido nisto no hospital. Enquanto aguardava o laboratório, a equipa médica fazia todo o tipo de testes.
They were performing all sorts of tests, but don't know if it was an autopsy or if they were trying to save its life.
Posso dizer que a equipa médica estava tão nervosa e chocada quanto eu. Basta imaginar o quão estranho isto foi, sério.
Medical staff was nervous.
Afinal, os médicos confirmaram que a criatura, entretanto,
in the end, the doctors confirmed the creature died.
A experiência foi a coisa mais doida que eu já vi. Sei que parece loucura, mas eu
It happened. I was there. I saw this creature with my own eyes. Ooh-wee. He said he saw, and many of them, say, hey, man, we saw this thing with our own eyes. Don't believe what you hear. Don't believe what you hear. Yes. Check this out, y'all. Now you're going to have to read the read the
Então, nós tivemos em janeiro de
captions, so.
96, né? E esse eu estava trabalhando também. É uma história que eu já contei.
10 anos depois do que aconteceu
do Mané.
com o Fernandes.
Exatamente, né? E vamos esperar um para 2026 agora, então. Vamos ver se está de ideia, né? E neste dia, eu trabalhando lá, nós tivemos a informação, eu estava trabalhando, eu era chefe lá de equipe, e um dos controladores de voo, que se eu não me engano era o Tânia, ele chegou, está entrando uma aeronave da USAF aqui na nossa área, né? Que é a Força Aérea Americana. E para uma aeronave de outro país militar entrar em qualquer outro país, ela tem que ter um prazo de, acho que 48 horas antes para autorizar ela a entrar na nossa área. Um avoém.
Tem que ter um avoém.
E eu fui lá procurar na minha pasta, não tinha avoém nenhum. Eu falei, pô, mas tá entrando um ZAF, uma aeronave americana aqui, não tem nada, e começamos a procurar ali e tal. E
a Defesa Aérea, ligou a Defesa Aérea.
Fizemos tudo que podia ser feito ali para saber o porquê que aquela aeronave estava entrando sem nosso conhecimento. E é de conhecimento do pessoal da aviação que uma aeronave militar estrangeira, quando entra no país, ela não pode efetuar desvios, vou cortar caminho por aqui, então ela segue aquele padrão todo certo que ela é observada pela Defesa Aérea, né? Aí tá, eu falei assim, pô, vou tomar uma providência aqui. E antes que eu pudesse ligar para a chefia para pegar a informação, entrou um oficial lá na nossa área, que era o chefe nosso. Então não foi e ele nem ficava ali, ele era do Torreão, né? Então ele entrou lá. Aí ele falou assim, Félix, está entrando aí uma aeronave da USAF, não deu tempo de fazer o avoém aí, então deixa entrar aqui. É lógico que eu não ia ponderar, né? Mas eu só pedi para que ele me mandasse por escrito depois, porque eu tinha que ter aquilo. Era uma responsabilidade muito grande uma aeronave estrangeira entrar no nosso espaço militar sem autorização.
Sem ter autorização.
Exatamente. Aí tá, ele veio, autorizei, passou normal. Isso daí foi no dia 19 de janeiro, 20 de janeiro, né? Se eu não me engano. Ele pousou em Campinas, não veio nem para São Paulo, Congonhas, apesar de ele estar falando que viria para Guarulhos, aliás. Né? A alegação dele, quando chegou numa posição, ele falou, não, meu destino é Campinas. Né? Conclusão, pousamos em Campinas aí, até aí nada diferente, exceto o fato de eu não ter tido o avoém dele. Né? O curioso começou a acontecer a partir daí. Daqui a pouco passou, eu acho que não deu 15 minutos ou 20 no máximo, assim, apareceu a Torre Campinas ligando para a gente, solicitando autorização de 2 helicópteros da Força Aérea para Varginha. Né? Falou assim, olha, o plano de voo dele ainda nós não temos em mãos, mas ele vai para Varginha, passou os dados por escrito, tempo estimado de voo, autonomia, pessoas a bordo, passou tudo. Né? Então, aí começou, né? Até aí o fato dos ETs de Varginha...
Eu tinha levantado...
Exatamente, né? E aí saíram esses 2 helicópteros, 2 SH-1D, saíram de Campinas, que provavelmente já estavam esperando lá, porque eles não são sediados ali, né? E foram para Varginha. De Varginha, eles ficaram lá um tempo, voltaram. Eu não consigo nem lembrar do tempo que ele ficou lá, mas porque na época não chamava tanta atenção. Saíram de Varginha, voltaram para Campinas, em seguida, já com o plano de voo do Força Aérea da USAF, eles embarcaram ali e saíram para os Estados Unidos. Né? Então, o curioso disso tudo só aconteceu quando nós ouvimos as reportagens no dia seguinte ou 2 dias depois sobre esse tal ET de Varginha, que levaram muito para brincadeira, né? Todo mundo brincava e, inclusive, né, nós estávamos próximos do Carnaval, começou a surgir aquelas máscaras, vamos banalizar esse assunto. Então, foi uma experiência que eu tive, que tudo leva a crer assim, que de fato houve aquele ET de Varginha. Sabe, foi uma coisa que eu levei comigo durante muito tempo, quando nós tivemos a oportunidade de conversar, inclusive contigo, com o Mané, a semana retrasada, eu falei que gostaria de contar esse caso, né? Porque, primeiro, a primeira coisa que me fizeram foram me procurar depois, Félix, esquece esse negócio do avoém, não precisa relatar, então já está tudo certo, já está tudo resolvido.
Deixa para lá.
Vamos esquecer, deixa para lá e acabou. Então, esse foi um relato que eu achei super curioso, assim, que depois, quando nós começamos a ligar os fatos, que você, dá aquele estalo. E nunca me deixaram falar, sabe? E simplesmente comentaram lá, esquece isso tudo que houve aí, deve ter tido alguma falha interna. Então, isso talvez uma prova ou uma amostra indireta de que o ET de Varginha não foi aquela brincadeira que o pessoal leva até hoje, né? Muitos não acreditam. Fala, pô, tu vai acreditar em ET de Varginha, rapaz, né? Mas nós tivemos fato que poderia levar a crer que aquilo aconteceu mesmo.
Você não aceita uma aeronave sem avoém entrar no teu espaço aéreo, no teu território, que não estivesse autorizado previamente.
E nem ela faria isso, né, Mané?
Pois
nem ela.
Isso tudo é muito estranho. É bem estranho. E assim, e foi tudo muito rápido, tudo muito coordenado. Pousou no lugar, decolou o helicóptero, voltou o helicóptero, decolou em seguida. O que eles vieram fazer, aí já é uma outra pergunta. Coisas substanciais.
Sobre Varginha, quando a gente ficar off pro público, aí eu quero conversar com o Pérez.
Ô Soares, você não vai cutucar ele para contar agora, Soares?
Agora eu não posso.
Aí, ó, não sei. Ô, Ilemar, você jogou essa agora?
Ele jogou a isca. Agora
dá pelo menos um spoiler para nós aí. Poxa.
Não posso.
Bom, ele tá nativo ainda, né? Ele tá nativo.
É melhor não mexer.
É melhor não. Bom, deixa para lá.
Tem 2 médicos, né, que toparam gravar e que por falta de agenda a gente não conseguiu ainda concretizar a gravação, né? Mas em breve.
That's crazy. So basically, if we're to believe, what those people are saying, and I don't have any reason to not believe them. After this incident occurred in Varginha, a plane, United States Air Force plane, lands in Brazil. Takes 2 helicopters into Varginha from Campinas, and then returns back to their airplane that they had flown in. Did it come to pick up a body? Did Brazil reach out to the United States and for help? I have no reason to discount the word of those 3 young ladies who, years ago when this happened, they made waves, international headlines. They was telling their story, and here they are, 20 years later, still telling the same story. I really hope that we'll get some truth from some of these incidents. It seems like once the United States government touches something, it's like they throw a big black piece of cloth over everything. Let's hide it.
A gente vai conseguir, acredito que esse ano, né, conforme a gente agendar uma volta lá a Varginha com mais tempo, né, tem que ficar lá pelo menos uns 10, 15 dias, né, senão não adianta ir para o sul de Minas. A gente, como é que fala, coletar o depoimento desses 2 médicos, né? Um médico que teria... 2 médicos que teriam examinado a criatura, né? Um deles um médico muito conhecido lá em Varginha, no sul de Minas, né? Tem 2 médicos, né, que toparam gravar e que por falta de agenda...
So, we'll see. Moment of Contact is the name of the documentary that... explores this in more detail. And again, it is an anniversary, right? Pretty much. So anyway, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through and hanging out with me. Before I get up out of here, allow me to pay a few bills if you don't mind. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
All right, guys, I'm out. I'll see you all when I see you guys. Thanks again for coming through. Shout out to those of you in the chat on all social media platforms that we're streaming on. I appreciate y'all for coming through, guys. Until next time.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart. Like really, really, really smart like I am.